like, yes, do this. It's just kind of like, okay, and now here's Picard. You know, like
that's fair.
It's an opening. But I do kind of like the approach of the score. It does make me think of Discovery quite a bit.
Okay, that's cool. So, after our sequence, I'm kidding. We see where we had left off where Picard and Soji have transported onto Rios' ship, and Rios is just staring at Soji, and then, you know, we get the fuzzy lens and the roaring in the ears, and he can't hear anything because he's just staring at her. And so, you know, it's not just like howling wolf heart eyes or something. Like, it's not one of those kind of things. It's like, oh, there's some history here. And I wasn't sure if it was that it was this particular model of android, or, you know, if it was like another one of like her sisters, you know, or if it had something to do with the real person who looked like her, you know, because it could have been from any kind of time, because, I mean, he's quite a bit older than her, so there could have been any kind of time that it could have been she was young, you know, they were both young or whatever, but we find out what happens. Picard is like, I need a secure line. Hello, over here. And then when Rio snaps out of it, he's just like, oh, okay. And he says he wants to call Starfleet, and Soji and Rafi are kind of like, what? And he explains he's going to need some help. So Rios is just like, fine. And he asks Rios where the closest like starport is. It's going to be Deep Space 12. So he says, set a course to there. And, you know, Rios is still sort of discombobulated, and he's like, okay, fine. I'm going to do that. But then after that, I'm done. I'm gone. See ya. And he does his thing and he leaves. And everybody's just kind of like, well, that was dramatic. You know, and then Picard is like telling Soji he's going to show her to, you know, a room, a cabin or whatever. And he does what I just always think of as the hover hand. I thought that was funny. But,
yeah, I like that.
But, you know, it was to respect her space. I understand. But, you know, I've seen so many celebrity photo ops from cons and stuff, and it's just always amusing when people, you know, it's like, because I have some where I'm like, I don't know if I should touch you. I mean, if you've seen the picture of me with Chris Evans and Tom Hiddleston, like, I had no problem touching them. But anyway, sorry, I got off track.
No, like, and like the thing with photo ops too, like, just to go off on a small tangent, like, I always like think of what I want to do first, and then like I always think of how I'm gonna ask somebody, because like some people are like really cool, like you know, like Kim's my husband. He walked up to Paul McGann at Galley and was like, "Hey, can I arm wrestle you?" Because he was dressed like the War Doctor, and you know, it's the Eighth Doctor, and it's funny. And he's like, it's your photo op, man. You can do whatever you want. And I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. But then, like, other people, it's like, no, I'm just going to stand here, and it's going to be, like, awkward prom photo, 1989.
Not even, like, prom. It's, like, homecoming like, in the 9th grade, because you're just standing there next to each other.
And it costs, like, as much as the photo in the 90s would have cost, like, with inflation.
Yeah, if I could sell all of the photographs that I've got, I could probably finish paying off my student loans. But I can't. So they're just there to make me giggle. I have them hanging on the wall, you guys. It's really funny. Anyway, we digress. Picard goes to take her to get comfortable and clean up or whatever she needs to do, change clothes. Rafi stops him and is like, ho, wait a minute. You know, because she definitely feels like she can be vindicated about something, and turns out it's about Agnes, because she wanted to vet Agnes, and that didn't happen, and now she's found out that she's a spy. And, you know, Picard's just kind of not into that, and she has to explain why she thinks that Agnes is a spy, and she's not sure if she wants the synthetic life form coming on, and, you know, you don't know anything about her. She doesn't even know about herself, so I don't know if we ought to do this. So, you know, they're talking about it, and Rafi's like, well, we are pretty sure that she killed Bruce Maddox. and she had this tracker in her, so we know that we were being followed by the tracker. And Picard's like, who is this we? So then cut to sickbay, and there's Agnes there in a coma, and we've got Rafi and Picard, and Soji may or may not have been there. I don't remember. It's not important.
She wasn't there yet.
No, she wasn't in there yet. That's true, because she walks in after that, so they must have taken her to her room. And we find out who the other half of this we is. It's Emil, the EMH. So we've got our medical hologram who has been conferring with Rafi about this tracker that was in her system. And, they noticed that their person that was tailing them stopped whenever the tracker was disintegrated. Apparently she used some sort of hydrogen compound. She used one of those hypo spray things. We saw last episode she had it 3D printed. Rachel, I don't know if you noticed about that. It was they didn't even try to build a prop. They just sat a 3D printer up there for it.
Yeah, and by the way,
yeah.
Here you go. Here's our budget.
Yeah, this is futuristic enough. It's I had it sitting on my counter. We built the phasers with it. We're just gonna sit it there. So apparently, that compound she made was supposed to destabilize the tracker. It made her foam at the mouth, go into a coma. The EMH helped her out, and him and Rafi got to talking. They're, they think that she's a bad person. Of course, Picard does not think that she's a Tal Shiar person, which I don't either. So, well, I mean, I know now, but you know what I'm saying. So, Rafi wants to really, let everybody know that she was right about something. So she heads out to go tell Rios. I just love it. She's just I gotta go tell him, because she's, by the end of this series, she is gonna have so many things that she's, called right. She's just gonna it's gonna be bigger than her hair. She's like River Song. She's got big hair full of secrets.
She's got all the hair, and she's so sassy. I love her. But she's not overly sassy.
No,
she's kind of like the stealth type of sass that I love so much.
Michelle Hurd is monotone sassy, if that makes any sense. She sort of stages in this small range of emotional about that kind of thing, but she's still you were wrong and I was right.
And she still had moments earlier in the season, when she met with her son, where she got
really son. That was
man. But yeah, otherwise she kind of reins it in, and she's that person has it together, but could use a hug or some wine or coffee at any given point.
Yeah, she looks like she's got it together, but she is falling apart on the inside. That's why she's got her vape pen.
That's what she drinks too.
I was saying in her wine glass. Gosh, let me get to it. We see Picard in his hollow study, and he is talking to Admiral Clancy. He's getting on to her about, I wanted to get this fleet to help me do this, and now there really is a problem, and I was right, and blah, 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 and he's yelling at her, and he's getting mad, and then she's just would you just shut the F up? And I did really good, because I censored myself. But it doesn't seem, I hate that she says this, and even when she said it the last time, I'm it just doesn't feel earned, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from. I think there's a lot of history that between those two characters that has not been explored yet, obviously. And I think we're probably going to get to some of that. Maybe not this season, but next season.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And also, it feels kind of jarring for there to be that level of cursing on Star Trek for whatever reason. Because when she said it, I was whoa, okay, I don't know if we're at that place yet for this level of language.
Yeah, there's other times where it doesn't seem as forced in, I feel like.
It's more conversational,
yes.
Which is fine. But this one was oh, okay, you went from 0 to 65 in 2 seconds. Oh,
right?
on.
Like, their backstory better be really good. It better just not be that she's just mad at him for leaving Starfleet or something.
I think it was talked about in an early episode that she was the one kind of forced him out, wasn't she?
Oh, okay.
I think so.
That seems right.
From what I remember.
And even if it's not,
it makes sense.
It's gonna be my headcanon now, Neil. But when she gets him to shut up and stop like
yelling at her,
Picard-splaining and yelling at her and stuff.
I like that. Picard-splaining. I like that.
Best word ever.
She's just like, I'm sending you a squadron. They're gonna meet you at Deep Space 12. Okay, I gotta go.
So shut the F up.
Right? That bit doesn't really bother me. It was just her saying the F word was just really too harsh.
Yeah.
I get that. I almost think like they're throwing it in there because they can now.
Yeah.
It's like they have all these pent up F words from the 45 years of Star Trek. And they're like, we got to get as many in as possible now.
It's like when you're a kid and then one of your friends decides that you guys are like at school on the playground and they can say whatever they want and they just start throwing curse words around. It's like,
use it when it's appropriate.
And for me, the F word is appropriate a lot of times, but
I've noticed.
Hey.
I'm right there with you.
Back to the show. Rafi finds Rios, and she's like, Agnes had a tracker on her. We stopped getting tailed whenever she dosed herself. She's got to be a spy, blah, blah, blah. She had to have killed Maddox, so what do you think about that? And he's just like, oh, yeah, that's too bad kind of thing. At this point, she does not realize, he's so nonchalant about it. She's so into, like, listen to this stuff that I know. And I knew that Picard was being stupid, kind of thing. Like, she was wanting to, like, really get this out. That she doesn't even notice that he's got combed hair and an Irish accent. Hi, hello.
She's having a moment.
Yeah, so she just, went right in there, was just telling him, and then she figures out, oh, this is the navigation hologram. This is Enoch. Yeah, because she has to ask which one he is, because then she remembers, oh yeah, there's a ton of him walking around everywhere.
Do you think that the 5 that we meet are all of them?
I don't know. What else could there be?
I was just thinking about that. Like, maybe there's a couple of really random ones that we haven't even met yet, which could be interesting.
Yeah,
like,
there's so many.
It's like, is there an escort hologram? Oh, I'm sorry. I just love to talk about how I'm fangirling over Rios on all these.
Yeah.
And then now I love Santiago Cabrera. And last episode I said something about, I think now my thing is South American space pilots is what I was trying to say, but then it was pirates, and then I'm like, whatever, that's fine.
It's close enough.
It was close enough.
Pirates, that's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, Rios' captain is he's a little bit of like an outlier. He's not like the other Star Trek captains. To me, he's like Mal in Firefly. Mm-hmm. He's very like this is my ship and this is my crew, and he kind of lets people, he gives them space. It doesn't feel like, okay, and this person is in the red shirt and this person is in the blue shirt. It's like there's not that sort of like element that we traditionally had.
And he cares about them.
Yeah.
Like he's not just like, yeah, I'm the captain and just, you can go cry in your room or whatever. He's like, here, I'm going to give you coffee because you're drunk and you need to sober up and be happy. It's like, oh, here, I think you need a little exercise. Or, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to not be, trying to use a euphemism or something here. Anyway. And now I've just, like,